Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal and you are watching the Mojo story. 260 dead, 60,000 displaced and counting. This is Manipur, which has been on the edge for more than a year now. There have been clashes between two communities, the Kuki community and the Meitei community in that state. And there have been the state that has been polarized to a great degree now in the latest series of escalation in the Jiribam district. Violent clashes erupted after the alleged torture, rape, and murder of a 31-year-old tribal woman by suspected militants. Now, she belonged to the Kuki community. Her charred remains and an autopsy indicating brutal treatment have incited now outrage in that state, with organization demanding justice and protection. Now, following this, a Meitei women farmer was also killed. That has added to the ethnic tensions between Meiteis and Kukis in uh, Manipur. And there have been also an encounter in the same district where 10 militants, police say suspected militants, have been killed. Some say that they were volunteers. So there are conflicting versions about that also. The violence only escalating in that state. To discuss this, we're joined by an eminent panel today. We're joined by Gladys. Welcome to the show, Gladys. She's been a part of our discussions in the past also, representing Kuki-Zo tribal women activists. Uh, Welcome to the show, Gladys. We're also joined by Colonel Shanti Kumar Sappam, who's a Meitei voice, and we are also joined by Major Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah, the person who has served in Northeast, who knows the state very well, and who understands the dynamics of this conflict. If I may start with you, Gladys, first. The situation has gone from bad to worse. What is the reason for this latest spurt of violence, and why is the Kuki community so suspicious of the central police forces that say that they are just trying to maintain law and order, and they've killed those militants who were in army fatigues, camouflage uniform, and they were carrying weapons?
Yes, good afternoon, Iqbal. We all know what happened in Manipur for almost the past 2 years is very, very painful. This also tarnishes the image of our great nation. And if you look back, it is N. Singh, the Chief Minister of Manipur, and his militia are the reason behind. There are a lot of evidence against him. Yet he remained the Chief Minister of Manipur till today. And if you mention about the central forces, if you look at when Assam Rifle was ruling the hills, they were maintaining law and order. And there were a lot of protests from our side also for removing of Assam Rifle, in spite of plead and request by our people how they feel safe in the hands of Assam Rifle. In spite of that, the CRPF were always posted in the valley, were moved to the hills. So all these has to be, taken into account why the violence, doesn't seem to stop till today. And also this genocide is done, to the Kuki-Zo minority group in the northeast part of India, in Manipur. And then if you look at the recent incident happened where Zodin, 31 years old, Zosang Kim, 31 years old, if you look at the brutality that was rained down upon her, a mother of three, a minority children that has to be cared by her. If you look at the way the body was tortured, the brain extract from the skull and the charred body, six in the autopsy says only six teeth were intact. What happened to the rest of the teeth? And also, if you look at the house, the video that came out, the blood spill house of her own was also came out in the video. And then if you look at all these incidents, including the 10 boys that got killed, the village defending boy that got killed, if you look at all the incidents, it seems like, it looks like every time N. Biren is put on the spot, be it the investigation on the audio that leak, every time N. Biren Singh has to be scrutinized, some incident spark. If you look at the sequence of even, be it killing of the woman, the innocent Kuki-Zo women, be it the killing of these 10 people, if you look at it, seems like it is always when experiencing has to be scrutinized, you know. And then apart from what exactly happened, all those truth will come out. But apart from these two incidents I have spoken, if you look at the Jiribam area where the Meitei are also residing in there, why do we have the Meitei in the CRPF commanding the battalion? Why do you have that? It won't be even fair if the Kuki command that unit. It won't be fair. In such a sensitive time, in such a sensitive area, why do we have the commanding officer from the Meitei community? And also, if you look at the audio leak when it came out in regards to embracing, then to just put that behind, they come up with a non-existent topic like the drone, you know, the drone. And like every time the chief minister, who everybody believe, looking at the, you know, the whole thing since 3rd May last year, the chief minister and his militia has to be taken to task. And this is also
Right.
having in mind that last year the body of the 10 boys, when the postmortem was going to be done, only some body were done. After that, a lot of Meitei, the video circulated shows that the Meitei guy pointing gun on our women folks waiting for the postmortem to be done were threatened to leave the premise of the hospital. You know, even in Assam, these Meitei went with the gun. And then how do
Right.
we know these are police forces? How do you know these are, these guys is
Right.
police forces? Even in
Right.
Assam, the dead body post-mortem cannot be continued till today. So how much
Right.
long can we wait for justice to be done? And also any action that has happened till now, there is no report of criminal case filed against those people,
Right.
the perpetrator who commit this crime.
Right. Colonel Shanti Kumar Sapam, you heard Gladdy there. When you get to know about the details of this woman, the way she was killed, her body was charred. This is not the first time that people from Kuki community have raised concerns, and they are skeptical about the government action and the central forces there. What is Meitei community doing about it to restore some sort of a confidence in the other community, to reach out to them, to build bridges? Is anything being done about it, or it's just going the way down? It's just polarization happening, and there's no end to that.
Jafarji, good afternoon. And thank you very much for having me in your show. And all the panelists, good afternoon. Now, coming to the questions you have just asked, on the 4th of November, there were a drone bomb dropped at Koktru. Two bombs were dropped, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. That was the first time of this, autumn, right? Autumn, that was the first time. There was a lull for around 2 months, and these two bombs were dropped, and thereafter nothing happened. But on 6th, there's a village called Zairon, and Zairon, next to it, there's a Meitei village also, which is quite close. And these two villages, they were living in harmony. They were in very good terms. They know each other. So there's a lady, her name is the lady who died, Jo Sang Kim. Jo Sang Kim has been communicating with the Meitei village. They have been asking, in Manipuri, we keep asking, khana kha liya, kya khaya hai, and all those things. We keep asking like that. So she has been in communication like that, and probably this info must have been leaked out. So the burning and the killing of this was not done by the Cookie, as Gladdy has said. It is absolutely there, and the press conference also has been done, and Investigation has been already done, and it was already out in News 9. Now, that was one thing. Then thereafter, the next day again at Saiton, one lady was killed in the paddy field, and it was killed at point blank. Okay? The people came down on the paddy field when she was working there in the paddy field, and she was
Yeah.
killed there, and
Yeah.
others ran away. And thereafter, the Jiribam, this episode, attacking the police station. In that police station, there's a relief camp also. There's a relief camp also, and there's a company of CRPF also, and they had some bunkers also. So these people came in auto rickshaw. I believe two of them, and they came down, rushed down, and they wanted to snatch the weapons, and they want to rush away from there. And next to it there was a tea stall. Tea stall like the snacks. People have breakfast in the morning. Roti shoti and all those things. So one family used to run that tea stall. Tea stall.
Right.
We called it small hotel. So one car came over there. One or another car must be waiting. So there's another 15-year-old girl who was in witness of the whole thing, and these three ladies and three children, they were forcefully taken in the car. And when this girl wanted to, try to sound an alarm, that time she was threatened that if you shout, these six people will be killed. And thereafter, they rush in the car. So this was the episode which was happening. But what happened is, Jafarji, I just want to submit one thing. There is no clash between the Meiteis and Cookies. Let me tell you, there is not a clash. It is a very deep-rooted thing which has happened at the time of independence. There was a gentleman called Tungkupum Paiti. Please see it in the Google. This separate administration and all these things, it was happening since 1961, 1962. See, I'll tell you one
Right.
thing. People may
But
say
but
anything.
but but
Do
it
I have
was a
some time?
peaceful it was a peaceful state. It just got a trigger
Yeah,
last year,
absolutely.
and that now it's gone out of
Yeah.
control. What is happening is there we seeing spate of violence taking place, then there is a lull for a few months, then again violence erupts, then again there is lull, then there is no permanent peace there.
Let me submit one thing. The chief minister of Manipur, otherwise center, things have happened so bad in Manipur. Narendra Modi ji or Amit Shah ji sitting over there, they are not lalus. They know what is happening around. That is why the chief minister has not been taken off. He would have been sacked. He did three things in Manipur. Poppy cultivation, extensive poppy cultivation was to be banned, to be destroyed. The second was illegal immigration that was to be stopped, right? And that encroachment in the forest and then forming villages. So many villages have been formed. Let me tell you one thing. In the year 1981, the population of this, I'll just tell you. Now let's not get into detail because
Right,
if I
right,
tell the
No,
detail,
right,
come on,
then
come
right.
on,
then it
come
will
on.
it
Get
will
into
increase
detail.
the enmity.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
let me tell you one thing. Glady, you had said in the debate that why only 10% given in the hills. Let me tell you one thing. In the year 2000, now before that, let me tell you about the post-mortem report. This lady, Josang Kim Mar, this lady was taken to the hospital with a constable Manipuri, and his name is. Let me tell you, I have the post report over here. So I will subsequently send after this. The
No,
constable who went with
Colonel Shanti Kumarji,
uh,
the fact remains that
yes,
women suffered an atrocity. She was beaten up, she was tortured, she was killed. Whatever happens after that, the postmortem report will give the detail. But the fact remains that she suffered. I need to go to Major Doctor Muhammad Ali Shah here. Shah Saab, I want to come to you. The point is that as I was asking, as I was saying, I'll come back to you, Colonel Shanti Kumar, but let me have a word from Muhammad Ali Shah Saab. Shah Saab, the point is that we have been discussing this in the past. One community, members of one community blaming the other community blaming again the other community. It's not going to help the situation. We are back to the square one. There are cycles of violence that are taking place in Manipur. The state has not stabilized. Whenever there is a lull, the focus gets off from that state. And when violence erupts, the focus is back on the states. Why I say this? Because 200 companies have now been rushed by the center to Manipur to quell the violence. But that is not the root cause of the problem.
Right, Zafar Bhai, you are absolutely right. It pains me no end. I know both our guests on the screen we can see very well. In fact, I have very, very high regards for both of them, in fact. Colonel Sapam, the very, very illustrious officer, and Glady, again, very reputed, highly reputed among the Koki community, in fact, and very well respected. Now, firstly, before I speak anything, I would like to tell our viewers that they've been hearing news of Manipur, and today I had gone outside. I overheard somebody talking about Manipur and saying that we heard about this autopsy report about this 31-year-old woman, the mother of three, on 7th, what had happened to her, brutally tortured and killed and then burnt alive. I would like to tell our viewers, firstly, people of Manipur. When I say people of Manipur, I include the Meiteis, the Kuki-Zo and Nagas. It was called a barbaric act. They are not whatever. They're not barbaric at all. They are very cultured, very principled, and very, very peace loving. Actually, it's very unfortunate what we are seeing right now. This is not. It's not that I heard this. I heard this in my own ears, and I was very hurt. I had to intervene. I had to tell them, no. What you're imagining, the image that you are building, it is not this way. People from the northeast part of India are my best friends, and I love them. I love them very, very dearly. So what has happened is very unfortunate, indeed painful. In fact, I shudder to even imagine such a painful death. It's very unfair. Now, this has been happening from both sides, unfortunately, and this has to be put to rest. This has to come to an end. Enough is enough. We've seen enough of violence over there. Unfortunately, Zafar bhai, people are more concerned about US elections, about Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, about other things, about Lebanon, about Iran, about Russia, Ukraine. What about our own house? Our own house, our own state, Manipur. Manipur, let me tell you one thing. Many of our viewers may not be knowing. They would be only knowing about the Ratan Thyam and Mirabai Chanu and Mary Com, and the Manipur has contributed a deal towards our nation building. We should be very grateful to that state in the first place, and not just nation building, internationally. Do our viewers know that the Indian ambassador to Lebanon, I am saying Lebanon right now because Lebanon is in the news.
Right. We seem to have some problem with the connection there, but
The
gladly
Indian
the
ambassador
point that Major Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah was trying to make is that
to Lebanon is from
Manipur has greatly contributed to the journey of modern India.
Meitei
Manipur
Bengal.
has produced sports people. Manipur has produced other persons who have done exceptionally well. But isn't it ironical that despite so much of a contribution, what we are seeing on the ground is an extremely difficult situation where people
Indian
have been
Army
kept in separate zones. They have been
contingent
divided, and there is
troops
a
are in Lebanon
buffer
right
zone.
now.
There's a
There
buffer
are
zone that
Meiteis.
separates the two. What is the solution to all of this? The central forces are brought in. They try to bring about some peace, and then it's back to violence, back to uncertainty, back to conflict. There seem to be no end to the conflict. What can possibly be done is that members of the two community try and build bridges between each other. That's the way to resolve this conflict. After
Can you
all,
hear
the
me, Zafar
people
bhai?
who have lived there for centuries, and they'll continue to live there like that.
First of all, before I answer to your question, I would like to tell about Colonel Sapam. In our last debate on Times Now, he lied flatly that no Kuki-Zo churches were touched in Imphal Valley. A liar continued to lie even till today. The lady, Zo Sang Kim, was never involved in any information. When the bullet shot her leg, she couldn't run out from her house. Her husband grabbed three of her children, promising that he will return to take care of her later on. But when he returned, she was not to be found. That means somebody has taken her to a secluded place or whatever. In the morning, where we know is a charred body of her. When we look at the post-mortem, skull burnt and separated in pieces. Number one. Number two, the brain that looks like her brain was thrown outside the courtyard of her house. The fresh looking brain of a woman whose brain was created by God to look after her children was extracted forcefully, brutally from her body and thrown outside her house. Where on earth did a person commit such kind of crime where Colonel Sapam is protecting? When it comes to poppy cultivation, let me tell you, I don't know about poppy, but our paddy fields continue to burn till today. The harvest is going on. Farmer in buffer zone of a cookie land cannot harvest their rice. Some of the paddy fields are burned by these nonsense people. Okay, to your point, how will it stop? Remove the person who started this pogrom. Remove the person who started this genocide. Our land that belongs to the Kuki-Zo, all the original paper from the British was collected by the state government, and the place where all those paper, the land Jameen ka paper was burned in Imphal office. Number one. Number two, this is a premeditated, pre-planned thought. It doesn't happen. It's not a two community clash. I can prove this to you. The Kuki-Zo house in Imphal Valley, 100% was marked red before the violence happened in the name of smart city. Survey was already done. And another thing, all the looted arms and weapons are never talked now. Why? Because it's still roaming around. And another thing, why a woman has to keep suffering like this? I appeal to the country that
The,
all women should
the,
come together. How will this violence stop? Employ and deploy the right men in uniform. Don't put those people who seems to be a part of the continued violence. Don't put those people. Remove the chief minister. And as we are physically separated, let's guard the buffer zone. Who does this separation? Not the Kuki-Zo. It is the Meitei and their militia and the chief minister. Who separated Kuki-Zo? All the Kuki-Zo in Imphal Valley. Nobody is a cultivator. Stop blaming them as poppy cultivator. Nobody is cookie militant. Nobody has gun in their house. They are either in the government office, ex-DGP, lawyer, doctor, engineer, man in uniform under CISF, Manipur police, government teacher. Everybody in the valley is all chased away like animal. How dare he keep saying poppy cultivator? Nobody in Imphal Valley is a cultivator among the Kuki-Zo. And another militant, he keep blaming population. If the village become lesser populated and the town become overpopulated, this means the villages are neglected. We have to come down for education. We have to come down for medical treatment.
right.
That population is also
Gladdy,
alive. And these three things, they keep on repeating in every media talk. Maybe one of the reasons why the violence ceased to die is someone like him who keep fueling the violence.
Gladdy will get a response from Colonel Shanti Kumar Sapam. But the point is, you have been emphasizing on removing the chief minister. Do you think that will solve the problem? Is it just one person
Well,
driven problem? It's a
in the
systemic
past,
problem.
yes, it seems like he cannot run the state. He remained a chief minister of a certain section of people. He cannot run the state. You and I agree. Almost 2 years now. How come a small state in Manipur cannot be curtailed? And that also the violent area is not the entire Manipur. How come the chief minister, who has all the police under him, who can also write to the center government, remain the chief minister and not able to curtain the violence till today, where almost every month we get to hear new incidents? If he was removed from the first time when we shouted last year in Jantar Mantar, all this life that is lost now would have been alive, like you and me talking for them, living life together. Now, I don't know how many more lives has to be at stake. The longer he sits on the throne, he is the most incapable chief minister. I'm so sorry. Not because of anything, just because almost 2 years the violence continue. And these 10 boys, look at the body. It was torture beyond recognition. Eyes were gouged out. Do you believe that army could have done this? I don't believe. Look at the torture. I don't believe so. Amit Alisa will confirm with me. I don't think a man in uniform will gouge out the dead body eyes. I don't think so. Look at the body, the corpse, how it is mutilated.
But
This is
yes,
something where,
Colonel
where we have to
Colonel
find out who
Colonel
did this.
Sapam, Colonel
Yes.
Sapam,
Ask
the
Nazar
point that
Ali,
she's
he is in the
yeah yeah the Colonel Sapam, the point that she's trying to make is that the buck ultimately stops at the top, at the chief minister, because he is leading the state. He's the leader of the state, and the state comprises of different people from all the communities. But about this encounter, the forces have said that there was an encounter, there was an exchange of fire, and in that these 10 people were killed. That's to Gladys' point that their eyes were gouged out. The security forces did in fact say that there was an encounter that took place. So please respond to what Glady is saying.
Firstly, as far as the chief minister is concerned, If he is not liked by the other MLAs, the MLAs or the ministers, they will resign. Na? Nobody has resigned. In the Kuki community also, there are two ministers, cabinet ministers, there are two. They have not resigned. They have not left there. They have not, as far as the cabinet is concerned, they should resign. They did not. See, what happened is, when I came to media for the first time, my ears, my eyes were in tears. Glady, let me clarify one thing. When we had debate that day, let me tell you, I purposely told lies, and I knew that okay, I would get a chance to speak to you. I said all the churches in the Imphal are intact. I purposely said that because since the time I saw you, you have been lying and lying and lying. And I do not know what is your profession. You may probably you could be air hostess because you have been rattling your English so well.
No,
And hats
so,
off to you for that. You have been
Colonel
thinking that.
Sapar,
Let
you
me tell
come
you
to
one
the
thing.
point. You just respond to her questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll come to you. I'll just one thing which I also, as an army officer, I felt little guilty is some churches were destroyed. It was not burned. It was, Tina and all those things were disturbed. Okay. But what happened is on the third May night, 2023, the Shiv temple, the oldest temple in Manipur, at the foothill of Kobru, it was destroyed completely. After I spoke to that day in the debate, I went all around the valley and I took an account. And one of my Tamo also, my brother, Kuki brother also rang me up and I was heard. And I told him, Tamo, I will clarify this. Okay? And I attended one marriage of Inspector Wi-Fi. Inspector Wi-Fi's son's marriage. Church is standing tall and beautiful. There's nothing happening here. It is in the outskirts. 1 minute. It is at the outskirts that some of them are destroyed. And if it is in the valley, most of the churches destroyed were basically at the fringes where the hill starts, and they belong to the Meitei, destroyed by the Kukis. Let me tell you this also. Now, as far as what Glady has said, I have sent Muhammad Saji, please see, Major Muhammad, please see the what you call the postmortem report. I've just sent it to you. The husband of this lady who was killed was accompanied by a constable of the police, a mighty constable, and his name is also given there. Muhammad Saji, please see it and then please say after seeing that. And what happened? The lady was killed by the Meiteis or not? That subsequently all the phone calls and all must be recorded. This will come. Lady, what I'm saying is, see one thing I'll tell you. When Manipur got independence in 1948, the election was done in independent Manipur, and that time the first the first speaker of Manipur was a Kuki chap, Mr. Thiankam, right? And it was under the king of Manipur, and another minister was Mr. Kilong. Two chaps were there, and thereafter the first IS officer of Manipur is also a Kipgen chap, and so many things happened. The biggest Misao gas agency, the biggest agency in Manipur was in Imphal by a Kuki person. The biggest shopping complex in Imphal was again owned by a Kuki person, TN Haukip. The second biggest shopping complex, again owned by a Kuki person, Bazaar. See, as far as the funding you talked about the funding that day, only 10% given in the fields. I got it published in the newspaper so that anybody can challenge. The transparency is there. Let me tell you one thing. Now, as far as the PW work is concerned in Manipur, in 2020-22, 537 crore was given in the hills and 167 crore was given in the valley, and it is 3.2 times more in the hills. And
So,
in 2022, 244 crore were given in the hills and the 66 crore were given in the valley. And 2023-24, 708 crore were given in the hills and 337 were given in the valley. And
right.
it is given almost on the 3 times in the hills.
Colonel
Right?
Sapam,
No,
Colonel
one more thing,
Sapam, you are,
just one more sentence. Allow me, please. One more sentence. It is 3 times, and above that there is another ministry called Hills and Tribal Affairs Minister, and funds have been given separately. If and one more thing is also, I don't want to say it. The fact is, in a Kuki community, all the funds are taken by the GB, headman of the village. Major Amit Shah also will agree with me. All the funds are given by the Kuki headman, and if the Kukis are rich, they are very rich, and if they are poor, they are very poor.
the point is, again,
And,
the problem
I'm
is,
telling you, this is not
Colonel Sapam, let me come in. You talked about
he
the
should not
funds.
blame. She should not blame. That is why I'm saying.
You said that funds are distributed. If the funds are not properly distributed, that's again the buck stops at the government. That the system is so bad that that funds don't reach the people. But coming to the point of this women who was killed, this 35-year-old woman, and these are gut-wrenching details. The way that she was killed and the body was charred, it just it one cannot understand who are these people who are committing such grave, atrocious crimes. Major Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah, we lost you briefly. If you can hear me now, she's a 31-year-old woman who was killed. She was a mother, and the way that she was killed, it's most shocking. But what we are seeing, that this has only brought to light the sharp polarization that's existing in Manipur, rather than this becoming a point where people from both the communities can come together and try and seek justice and try and seek answers and accountability for those criminals, for those perpetrators to be held to task for this atrocious crime. What we are seeing, unfortunately, is that there's a blame game that is going on, and it's not going to help anybody.
Exactly, this blame game is not going to help anybody. Now, just coming back to a small little thing that since my friend Glady Wi-Fi's profession was brought out, let me tell the viewer that she's a very, very respectable business lady. Her husband, a very respectable aviator. She sent her son to one of the best schools of the country. She made a lot of sacrifices. So I really respect her a lot. Colonel Sapam has spent all his life with the Assam regiment. He's lived his life with cookies. He's got his best friends were cookies, in fact. I know this for sure. So again, I'm coming to, it's such a mistrust has happened. Just yesterday, I have this text. I don't name the doctor from Manipur. So I don't name the community, but you can well imagine the doctor told me that somebody else came as a patient of a different community. That doctor can be a Meitei Kuki and the other person could be a Meitei Kuki, but different community. So I'll not try to name that, right? There was so much of mistrust that when the mother got to know, or the patient's mother got to know that the doctor is from this particular community, there was mistrust. The mother was shocked, aghast. The mother thought, and this did not happen in Manipur, by the way. This happened, I'll not name a city, it happened outside Manipur. A personal friend of mine, this happened with. So this is the level of mistrust that we have gone to, unfortunately. Whereas doctors have taken a pledge that they are going to be unbiased. A patient is a patient. They will treat the patient the way it is. So that is the level of mistrust. Now the Kuki tribe has lost complete confidence in the Chief Minister, Mr. N. Brain Singh. The Meitei community has lost complete faith in the Assam Rifles, where Assam Rifles is led by the Indian Army officers who are very impartial, very just, who will only protect the victims. They will not see who is Meitei, who is Kuki, who is Naga. They will not see that. They will just go. So the Assam Rifles led by the Indian Army officers. So people who cast aspersions. Now, 2 battalions of the Assam Rifles were sent to Jammu Kashmir. Fine, Jammu Kashmir there was tension over there. The Assam Rifles are troops which are very, very hardy, battle hardened, and they're very good. They're number 1, I would call them. So I see it this way. They were selected for a special mission to go abroad, to go up north. Now, Glady mentioned that the eyes were plucked out and such things, and then that the army would not do that. Well, I'm sure she didn't mean the army; she meant the security forces, because normally civilians don't know the difference between the security with the CRPF, army, Assam Rifles. It's like they are meant to be guarding them. Now they are village volunteers who are protecting the land. I think the armed forces the people should have that much of faith in the armed forces, the security forces. When I say armed forces, I mean the security forces, be it the Assam Rifles, be it the army, be it the BSF, be it the CRPF, be it the state police, that they are here to protect us. They will look after us. But so much has gone down the drain that people have lost faith completely. So how do we do that? We get people on for a dialogue. The Home Ministry had initiated something about 2 weeks back. The Meitei and the Cookies to sit together and talk over a dialogue. I don't know what the outcome was and how fruitful it was, but I would call it a good initiative. But again, the trouble is dialogue is the only way forward, because it's only getting from bad to worse, and the wounds are only getting deeper and deeper. What happened on 7th of November was extremely shocking, and it was bone chilling, it was spine chilling. It was so. Now again 6 people go missing, out of which a family in June they got displaced. Now they were staying in Jiribam, along near the police station, near the CRPF camp. They were staying there. 8-month-old baby. Can you imagine an 8-month-old baby? Here we can see 3 women
Yes.
and 3 children gone missing completely, and no one has any clue. No one knows. In fact, some people are saying that there's no confirmation whether there's confirmation or not. But the news, there's no smoke without fire. A news comes in, which means there must be something to it. That's why the news has come in. How do we get them now back to talk together and shake hands? It's not like school. Okay, guys, don't fight. Come on, shake hands, become friends. Now go home. It's very complex now. It's become so complex that the central government has to take, I'm sure they are taking interest. They will have to take in more interest and ensure Sam, Dham, Dan, Bhed, do what you want. A simple Meitei wants peace. A simple Kuki wants peace. And I see no reason. There was a committee of 51 members, okay, of peace committee last year, which was rejected by the members itself. Why? Because the consent wasn't taken. Where are the interlocutors? They were interlocutors formed for the Assam, right? They were the Alpha problem was going on. Where are the interlocutors? I would ask the government, where are the people who will ensure peace? Who will ensure peace? So it's my advice, just a suggestion to the government to immediately, with immediate effect, consider this to be the first priority. As I explained in the beginning, how important is the Manipur, the state. Last year they had Femna Miss India there. They had an international polo tournament. They had people going all over. I mean, they were going places. Suddenly, what's happened? In 93, there was a Meitei clash between the Pangal and in 94, there was a Naga Kuki clash. In 97, there was an in-house fighting among Kukis. But there's never been a Meitei and Kuki clash ever. Now we are seeing a deadly clash.
Major Shah, I was just trying to understand if the eyes were gouged, right? And it's alleged that people from one community did that. Now, the point is that the security forces say there was an encounter. They were wearing, army fatigues or fatigues of security forces, some sort of a uniform they were wearing when the encounter took place. Why will the security forces take it on to themselves that these 10 people were killed? If they were killed by somebody else, how will that happen?
No, security forces, I'll tell you, they always honor the dead. They always. I mean, they don't believe in mutilating, and unless it's the enemy. Like in 1999, Pakistan did that to our soldiers, to Lieutenant Saurabh Kalia, and the body was mutilated and such thing. But soldiers, we gave Pakistani soldiers a very respected burial from our side. That is the magnanimity on the Indian side. And let me tell you one more thing. They are war ethics and ethos, they're war rules, and they're followed strictly by people on their own. My experience, I had seen counter-insurgency operations in Jammu Kashmir, and I had seen in the northeast part of India. Now, my experience tells me that in Jammu Kashmir, they are going to be ruthless. They don't care. You're a woman, child, whatever. They don't care. In Manipur, I had seen the underground factions. They used to honor women and children. They never attacked women and children. Their convoys passing by. The fire brigade, the ambulance, the ambulance, the school bus used to go without protection, carefree, because just 2 years back, exactly same day, 3 years back, there was CEO of Assam Rifles, Commandant Colonel Biplab Tripathi. He, his wife, his son, his small child, and other Jawans, they were killed in action. Unfortunately, the PLA issued later apology later on that they did not know that the family was traveling in that same convoy. Right now, the fact is, I have seen that kind of ethics in Manipur. Now, what's happened now suddenly? What happened? It's someone's sinister design, Zafar Bhai. It cannot be my own people who were so affectionate towards each other, who were living
Major,
like brothers, and now suddenly this sinister design comes in and fire flares up big time.
Major Shah, you spoke about women and children and the way that different warring communities do consider that these are women and children and put them outside of the conflict. But the fact is also that I want to come to that 3 children, small children, are missing. 3 women are missing at the time when this encounter took place. Gladdy, what sort of a situation are we looking at? You saw those photos. These are small babies that are missing altogether. Shouldn't the concern about of everybody be that where are these children? Let's try and find them. They have not committed a crime. They don't belong to any community. They are small babies. They just been taken
Yes.
away. Nobody knows their whereabouts.
Yes, sir. You rightly say that, Iqbal, and I will agree with Major Amit Muhammad Ali Shah also that sometimes we, the Northeast, especially our community, cannot differentiate army and defense forces. So anyone who put uniform, we call it army. If I say something in that line, I ask you forgiveness. And then the point that you're making is why women and children are not spared. You look at even the lady who was burned inside the ambulance when her son was shot at the head. She thought that she being a Meitei woman and married to a husband, Kuki husband, she thought that my Meitei community will not touch me. Having that faith, she took the ambulance, and we know that she and the boy were burned in the ambulance. And another thing, baby Isaac, a month old, was killed. The only crime was he was born in Kuki-Zo community, and the woman, the Zo Sankim, also, if you look at, imagine the children, the future of the infant, the 3 of them. Imagine that are growing up without the mother. The mother stories, you cannot hide it. Now with internet, everything has to come back to them. This will haunt them throughout their life. Apart from that, also there's so many innocent. Floria and Olivia were also raped, brutally killed in Imphal Valley. And the mentally retarded senior citizen of the Kuki lady was also killed in Imphal Valley. If you look at, yes, you are very right that even after killing, why mutilated? Why play with the dead body? Why? This is also, not allowed even in UN Geneva. My point is, sir, till the audio tape of Enbiren Singh is under investigation, why can't the central government remove him? And then secondly, what Colonel Sapam has said about our MLA not resigning, let him not speak as if he owned BJP. BJP is the central government. Our MLA boss is the central government. Let him, even if they don't like Enbiren Singh, it doesn't mean that we don't like central government. Let me make it very, very clear. Even though we do not like Enbiren Singh, who is the pogrom master, the brain behind this, it doesn't mean that we don't like central government. Let me make this very, very clear. His point is invalid. He should not raise this question again. And also, when it comes to safety, sir, now we are separated. Why can't the army or the men in uniform, the defense forces that we trust, guard us? Why can't they guard us? If you look at the incident when Assam rifles were there, the incident was very much curtailed. There was a buffer zone. Nobody was crossing path. Now what happened? Look at Jiribam. Why are they, everybody is like counting back on the violence again? Why incidents have increased in recent past? What step have we taken that led to this recent violence? The only major thing that step taken was removing of Assam rifle, putting CRPF and CAPF in those areas. This is what big thing incident that we have taken. And also, sir, I think in the days to come, if this is not taken seriously in our country, in our great country, India, in the central government, because India is already tarnished by the Meitei communities. India, a great nation, is tarnished by them. They are the one who separate Manipur into 2. Why is our Prime Minister not speaking till today? We all want him to speak. Sir, how could he, when India is put to such a shameful, image, where India is known as raping minor girl, where India is known as extracting the brain of the woman, when India is, tarnished, such a great nation is tarnished by them. They are anti-national. They're separating Manipur into 2. God
But
forbid,
but
if
but
doesn't stop, it can
but
even
but
become
but
3,
but
sir.
but Gladdy, it's still
Yes.
not. It is still the investigations are still underway. It's still the culprits have not been found, so we cannot really say that who are the ones who did it. But Colonel Sapam, coming back to you, I just, when I see that photo of these small babies and these children taken away and these women taken, one wonders what is the priority here? What are we talking? This has happened a few days ago. Where is the state government? Where are the agencies? What are they doing? Isn't there a task to find these people and to return them to their families? What sort of a trauma would these families be undergoing at this point in time?
Jafarji, what I'm saying is we cannot neglect this Burma Act, right, passed by the US. And we cannot neglect the visit of the, Chief Minister of Mizoram to the US, and that too just before the election. And that too, he has mentioned that three enemies, we cannot face three enemies at a time. And we Kuki-Zo people must unite. And thank you for the fund donated to for various things. These are the things which he said. And we cannot forget what happened in Bangladesh and what Sheikh Hasina said. And what is happening in Burma,
But how are
Myanmar,
all
that
these
also we
related?
cannot
I am
neglect.
very specifically asking about these children
I'm
and
coming
these
to that.
women.
Let me come
Yeah,
to that
that
now.
have been missing. Yeah.
Now, let me just come to that. See, Jafarji, let me come to that. What I'm saying is, when I came first for the in the TV, I was not a speaker basically. We army guys are basically very shy. That Muhammad Shah would agree with me. What happened is there have been a lot of catalysts in the problem. Lot of catalysts has been there. See, 900 armed militant people infiltrated over here. In the next few days or months to come, please mark my word today, my interview with you today, the problem will be much more, the dimension will be much more, and the Kukis and Meiteis will keep blaming each other. Let's see this. This is what those third person or fourth people, this is what they want. And why? One more thing is there. At the center, BJP government is there. In Manipur, BJP government is there. And they have not dissolved the government. They have not taken out Biren Singh. Biren has not dissolved, taken out the two ministers also. There is very, lot of problem is there, which we common people are not understanding. But as a military man, let me just give you a hint. This is the beginning. Let me tell you, this is the beginning. And in this, we will hate each other. We will fight each other. Who has killed this Mungsang Kim? I would say that it is killed by the cookies. But her house, and she was shot by those militants who came over there, not by the Meitei. This is very sure. And in the time to come,
Again, Colonel Spam, it's a matter of investigation. It is a matter of investigation, as I told Glady also.
Yes, yes, it is a matter of investigation. But then let us not, what I'm saying is, let us not spread hatred. That is what I'm saying. Lot of things have gone in. See, the DGP of Manipur and unified commander, he had already announced that 900 people had come in over here in Manipur, and subsequently he's again said, no, I'm an army guy. When an intelligence is there, it's given by a drunkard staff, it can be anybody.
Why was that statement
Yes.
made in the first place? And that statement had come from the chief minister's office, if I remember correctly, and then it was taken away. These things matter on the ground. This flip-flop, this sort of a miscommunication does not help the situation. And now you are again coming back to the question about these babies that have been taken away and these women that are missing. What is being done about that?
Very unfortunate event. Let it be, if it is done by the Meiteis also, I will condemn them. I will condemn to the highest level. Let me tell you this. And one more thing is, let me just clarify one more thing is, the original, we used to live in harmony, yeah? We used to live in harmony, but then, this, the nation which, the Kuki-Zo nation, which, I'm not talking about those people, those cookies in Manipur. I'm talking about the ideology, created by Tungkupum Baite a long time back, which is being followed now. Thangdenpo Guite, who has come from Myanmar, who was the MP in Myanmar parliament. These are the people who are creating problems. And we all must understand that local people who have been staying over here in Manipur, we must understand the daughter of Thiangkam, he sent me a mail, and it was a touchy mail. She's in the UK. She sent me a mail that time. But then I have been comparing. Some people say the border is completely sealed when the border is completely open. And in modern time, we have to have fencing. Yeah, we have to safeguard ourselves. If we have some affinity that side, they have to come through proper means. Yeah, proper channel. They have to come through the gate. Let them come. No problem. Yeah. Ethnic ethnic similarity is there. Let them come. We are not saying it which they should not come. Let them come right properly, and after that, let them go. हाँ? नहीं आना चाहिए. They must come every time. आना जब आया आया नहीं जाया नहीं गया. How can it happen? Yeah, and how can it be objected? Yeah,
Right.
Indian government is ready to spend so much of money,
I
and still
think Gladdy
objection is
wants
there.
to
Why?
respond. We have to wrap up, but I think Gladdy wants to quickly respond before we wrap up our show. Yeah.
Yes, when it comes to border, it is not regarded by the cookie. It is under MHA. We know that. And then also Article 15 of the First Geneva Convention 1949 mandates that parties to a conflict collection to protest the dead body and should not, mutilate it, or should not touch it, should not respect it. But in this case of Zo Sang Kim, it is totally against this Geneva mandate. And this has to be taken seriously. Not just a crime is committed, but even to the dead body. This has to be taken seriously. And also, when it comes to the chief minister, yes, it is under investigation. While it is investigated, why can't we just suspend him? When the truth come out, then the law will take into consideration. And also, they don't keep blaming the border. Don't keep blaming. I trust our border security, whoever is guarding. I know I'm not from the armed forces, but whoever is guarding, I trust them. They secure the border of our country. I trust them.
Right.
Don't
Right.
blame this violence because Manipur happened to be in the border area. Don't blame them. And also, when it comes to children, if you look at the sequence of even in the past, how David Thiek was beheaded, how all those three boys of the Mar community in the fake
Yes.
encounter were killed, their body were chopped off. All this similarity, if you look at, we can come kind of say that who has done to this level of crime. Like even all those three boys in the beginning, the media all blamed that they were dead in the encounter. But when the video came out, it was the opposite. Even now, also the
You
10
know,
bodies, the 10 bodies.
many,
One
there
sec,
have
sir.
been
One sec,
many.
sir. Sir,
Yeah.
one sec, sir. Just 10 bodies also, 10 boys also. How come all the 10 got killed and nothing happened on the other side? So this thing has to be taken into consideration, and also the post-mortem. Which side the bullet wound is, the front side or the back side? We have to do a
That
thorough
is what
study
that is
if
why I
we
was
want
saying
a
that it's
solution, sir.
all it's all a matter of investigation. But before we
Yes.
wrap up, I want to give last word to Major Ali Shah, because he has studied this conflict, he has served there, he is keeping a track of the situation, and he knows where it's headed. He has some concerns about the way that it's being dealt, the way that it's being treated as a law and order problem, the way those peace committees were formed that had no significance on the ground. They were not used in the way that they were thought about. Major uh, Muhammad Ali Shah Sahab, what is the way forward?
Zafar Bhai, I am a motivational speaker and a defense analyst. I used to analyze on global affairs, on geopolitics. I left all my work aside. I sacrificed my income also for a long time. And you don't believe it? Out of my love, my personal interest, I took interest and I tried my best. I to deaf ears to get both the communities together. And I'm sure Colonel Sapam and Gladdy also would agree to that. But all my pleas, all my ideas, all my efforts fell to deaf ears actually, unfortunately. I am thanks, Gary. I'm desperate to get peace in Manipur. I'm desperate. I've taken it personally. So I see no reason if Major Muhammad Ali Shah has taken it personally, everyone can take it personally. The government, with all due respect and regard to them, I'm sure they're doing their best. They can put in more effort, more energy, more focus on getting peace in Manipur. I told you, Sam, Dam, Dan, Bhed, get interlocutors. You had formed a peace committee last year of 51 members. Form a peace committee. Now get them to talk. Get them on a dialogue. In fact, you would have noticed in this entire conversation, Zafar Bhai, I did not take sides either with cookies or with Meitei. Both are my brothers. I love them. Both the communities are very dear and very special to me. Get people who know, who understand Manipur, who would not take sides, who will somehow get them to talk. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. But not impossible. Impossible itself says, I am possible. Till how long? Till how long will we see suffering? Till how long will we see the way? And secondly, I would urge people not to brand any community. Like, uh, Meitei rapist, cookie militant, or poppy culture, all that. Forget it. We are brothers. We all should coexist together. We all should live together. We have to see a promising future together tomorrow. What are we leaving for our generations? What are we leaving for our children? Our children will bear the brunt of what we are doing today. So today, what we do, hence many, many years later on, it will be remembered in history. Oh, your forefathers, your ancestors did this. We should actually not give fuel to someone's sinister design, whoever it is. I don't know who it is, but it definitely someone's sinister design. I cannot believe a state where women and children were always guarded, always loved, always respected. They were never attacked. Now they're brutally being killed. I mean, Tonsing Hansing, 7-year-old. I mean, his father Joshua Hansing, who was married to a Meitei Christian, her sister Lydia. She was again, when they were taking in the ambulance, they were surrounded and they were killed. I think everyone should sit down and together. I mean, they were the young couple in the teenage Meitei, a young, I will not call couple, a young teenagers. They were going for tuitions and then they went missing. So it's been happening from both the communities. And then who started it? It's not about who started it, who did end it. No, it's about we have to think maturely. एक ठंडे दिमाग से we have to sit together and think if we do not end it now, because as they say, a stitch in time saves 9. If we don't end it now, Zafar Bhai, I am telling you, I commend you. I commend Mojo Story. I commend certain channels like NewsX. They've been doing a very fine job. Otherwise, there are some channels who are not bothered to even cover Manipur. Why? I will tell you why. Because many of the journalists think that Manipur will not get them eyeballs, will not get them TRPs, it will not sell. How cheap is that? I think one has to be unbiased and one has to think for the betterment of a state. I'll give you a small example and I'll conclude there. When this entire conflict started, because of I've spent my childhood days, my beautiful days in Manipur. My father commanded a brigade from Kakshin, from Manipur. In fact, he was also in the army. So the very fact is, I have spent such good days in Manipur that I took it personally upon myself. And when I started interviewing people, I've interviewed Gaddy, I've interviewed Colonel Sapam. And in fact, when I started interviewing people, people would say, oh, nobody watch your interviews on Manipur. Yeah, come on, focus on something else. I said, I don't care whether anyone watches or anyone doesn't watch. I will do my duty for so I would continue focusing there. So I think our focus right now should be east. We should look east. We should form. We should make them. We often it so happens. Unfortunately, I will tell you, leave aside the violence. Okay, a person from northeast part of India comes to Delhi. It can be from Nagaland, can be from Arunachal, can be from Mizoram. Such slangs are used. I'm aghast. I feel hurt. I always intervene and I say, please, guys, they are own people. I mean, obviously, if you alienate a certain section, they would feel, kya yaar, humko neglect kar rakha hai humko. There's a way of dealing. There's a way of making them feel that we are one of them. They are one of us. We have to live together. And in fact, if you see, I told you, the contribution of northeast part of India has been immense towards our nation building. So most certainly, the nation's first priority is to save a burning state like Manipur at the moment, Zafar Bhai.
Right. This suffering has to end. Colonel Sapam, we completely out of time, but quickly, if you can make your point in 10 seconds, because we're completely out of time. Yes.
What I'm saying is, when we keep blaming each other, we will lose everything. That is what I wanted to say. But let me tell you one thing. It's a message for the Glary. Let me tell you one thing. It is no point we fighting over here. The agenda is very different. The agenda is very different. And one more thing, let me tell you. In Mizoram government would not allow a single poppy to be planted over there. But
Uh,
Mizoram will try to be this thing. This is also there. Certain thing.
Colonel,
I love my state. That is why I'm saying this. I love my state. That saying
It's
this,
almost
and all the
2 years.
people stay in Manipur
No plan
must
grow
understand
2
all these
years.
things.
Colonel
yeah,
Sapam, your favorite poppy doesn't grow. Grow first to know the plan. We are growing rice, not poppy. Please,
right.
we are rice
Gla-
planter. Okay, thank you.
Glady and Colonel
The whole.
Sapam, and we'll have to leave it here. Major Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah, thanks so much for joining us. The fact is that the suffering has to end, and nobody should put fuel in the fire. There should be efforts made to build bridges, to build connections. Why should there be a buffer zone at all? Why cannot people live together like normal in any other state? Everybody should work towards that. We'll have to leave it here. Thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.